Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be learning how to make use of the last video we did, which was manipulating our darts. Okay, so I'm going to be using the pattern that we just manipulated from our last video. If you've not watched that video, please go and watch that video to see how we manipulated this dart. So because of the particular design that we are going to be making, I have to use the pattern to draft out the design that we're going to be making. So this is the back piece of the pattern that we're going to be making. Okay, so it's a asymmetric gown. Okay, so I have to cut the sleeve and both the sleeve and add some length to it. So I have to shape the, I taught you guys about the back piece of that of the pattern. Okay, now you're going to see the full back piece, how I drafted the back piece. Now I went in by 1 inch for the zipper bulge. I don't want the zip to fold at the back, so that is why I went in by 1 inch. Then I have to fold it in like this. I have to fold it in. After folding it in, I will place it on top of the pattern. This is the, then after folding it in, I'll place it on top of the other pattern like so, and then I'll come out by 1 inch. That's the proper zip. Okay, and I'll come out by 1 inch in that shape, in the shape. So this is my straight line for the back piece. That's my shoulder line for the back piece. I have to come out by 1 inch. I will go down by 1 inch for the back neck depth. I'll curve it like this, then I'll come out by 1 inch for the zip. Okay, and then connect the lines together. I don't know if you guys understand what I did here, but I hope you do because of the video that is playing. So I'll connect it like so. So this is our new zipper allowance. So now for the length, I have, remember our full length was 27 inches. I'm going to add the 27 inches back here. 27 inches is the full length of the asymmetric gown. So I added, the length of this pattern is 26 inches. So for the sleeve, I went out by 4 inches for the sleeve and just curve it like this. That's the kind of sleeve I want it to have. And then add ½ inch as allowance for the body of the gown that I'm about to make. Just ½ inch all the way. You don't need any extra allowance so that it will just come to your body. And then that's just it. Okay, that's all the measurement that we'll be needing because we already have our pattern. So I'm going to cut out this piece. This is our back piece. I'm going to fold my material into 2 and cut it out on the material. Okay, so now let's work on the front piece. So guys, this is the front piece. I have to unfold the zipper allowance that I folded to cut the back piece. I have to unfold it and then to get the right measurement for the front. So now we're going to work on the sleeve. It's a cut together sleeve. Okay, this is the shoulder. We are going to cut our shoulder in full. Okay, the neckline in the pattern is not what we are going to be needing. So the shoulder, remember we came out by 4 inches for the sleeve. So that's the 4 inches for the sleeve. I'm just trying to use the back pattern to remove the 1 inch for the sleeve and just check the length of the sleeve. Okay, you can see that I need to go down a bit. Okay, and that is it. So we're still going to make sure that it rhymes very well before we go do mistake again. So this is the right measurement. Okay, this is the right measurement. Remember, we're going to come out by ½ an inch. So that ½ an inch, that extra allowance was the ½ an inch that we need to bring out, and then take it all the way to the full length of the blouse, the gown. So now the down part, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and there's just it. And that is it. We are going to be cutting it out. This is why we love creating patterns. Patterns will make your work very easy while cutting. All you need to do is just place it on top of the material. If not for the neckline design that we're going to be having in this pattern, I will just cut it directly on the fabric. But because of the design that we're still going to create with this pattern, that is why we are creating it here. So the next thing is to cut the neckline for the front piece. Okay, for the front piece neckline, I'm going to go in by 3 inches, which we already did. Okay, so we have the front piece we went in by 3 inches and we came down by 8 inches here, because I want my boobs, just the upper part of my boobs, to be showing. I went in by 4 and 2 over 8. Okay, the upper is supposed to be bigger than the lower. That's the design. This is a Queen Anne neckline. Queen Anne neckline. That's what I want to do here. So I just curve it like this. Okay, and then mark a straight line here, then cut it out. What am I doing here? Okay, so I'm bringing out my scissors. So I'm going to cut it out, and after I'm done cutting it out, you will see the design of the neckline. It came out so good. Okay, the name of this neckline is Queen Anne neckline. So as you can see, the beauty of the pattern that we drafted, that's the manipulation, is that you don't need to draft any pattern when cutting it on the fabric. You draft any that. There is no line, there won't be line of that at the fabric. Okay, on the fabric, the main dress, there won't be a mark, because you have already drafted everything. It's only the shape of the gown. People will be wondering, oh, how did she achieve this shape of the gown? That is the reason for drafting that elimination pattern. So we only need the waist line here. I created the waist of the pattern. Okay, and then from the waist, I'm going to go down by 5 inches. Okay, to create the asymmetric line on the gown. So this is how I created the asymmetric line, and that's just it. So I'm going to cut it out, and that's it for the front pattern. So we're going to, after creating this line, we're going to cut it directly on the material. I'm just trying to make it more sharp, more visible. Now it's more visible. So we are going to be cutting directly on the material, because there's nothing else to do here. First, we are cutting the front piece, and this is how I placed it. Okay, I'm going to cut it out like this, and that's just it. So this is how I cut out my front piece. So for the back piece, this is how I'm going to fold it by 2. My material, I'll fold it by 2, because we are cutting for the 2 sides of the back, and I have just one piece of pattern. So we're going to fold it like this, and I'll cut. Make sure it is the same size. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. Okay, so we're going to slit the center open, and make sure you put down that shape, the shape of zip, to avoid the bulge at the back. And that is just it. So these are the 2 sides of the zip, the back. These are the 2 sides of the back. Okay, now I am going to place the front piece on top of the back piece to create the asymmetric line. Okay, remove the zipper allowance there. Make sure the front and the back piece lines together. make sure they line together. Make sure the zipper allowance was removed to create the asymmetric line, and then cut. After cutting, this is what we are going to have. We are still cutting. So after cutting it out, this is what it should look like. So this is the neckline and the back. So now we are going to cut the facing of the back and the facing of the front. For the back, I folded my material into two, and I'm going to place the back piece on top of the material, just a little piece down, and cut the shape of my back neckline like this. Okay, and shape it like this. That is my interfacing for the back, the two sides of the back. As you can see, because I folded it into two, I got two. I'll use my pin to hold it down, and then use 1/2 inch to sew on the neckline, then fold it back. Okay, I placed it right side facing right side. Then after sewing, you fold it back to the back piece, the back of the pattern, the fabric. So now for the front piece, I have to look for where it will size, because you don't need to fold it into two, you just need to cut it out like that. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out like this, using the shape of the front piece. So after doing so, I will now see what I'm going to do there. I'll just add some inches and just some space to it, and then I'll place it right side facing right side of the part of the main fabric, right side facing right side, and then use my pin to hold it. Use 1/2 inch to sew on them, and then I'll come back and show you what we have after sewing. This is what I have after sewing and ironing it down. This is what I have. This is for the back piece. So we're going to bring out our zipper allowance for the back piece. I'm going to mark my 1 inch down like so, and then pin it up so that we'll get what we are doing. Also iron it down to get the zipper line. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to place my front piece on the back piece, right side facing right side. As you can see, there's the interface of the front piece. It came out so nice. So I will try to hold the shoulders. I'll join the shoulders together using 1/2 inch. So I'll use the interface, close up the interface of the front, both the front and the back piece, and I will use the main bodies to hold them together. Okay, then I will join them like so. I'll pin it up like so, and use 1/2 inch to sew on top of it. So this is what I'm going to do on the shoulders. I'll do the same for the other side. I'll use the interfacing of both the front and back, fold it backwards like this to the main body of the gown, and then use pin to hold it together. Then I will use 1/2 inch to join the two sides, and then this is what it looks like after joining the two sides. This is what it looks like. I've also ironed it. Okay, so the next thing to do is to join the two sides of the asymmetric gown. I'll join the two sides using my 1 inch, remember, or more than that. Okay, and then I will open the zipper so we will add the gathered effect on the asymmetric gown. So this is what it looks like after joining the two sides of the gown. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to measure around the waist of the gown. Remember, our zipper allowance is 1 inch all the way down. So let's measure the waist of the asymmetric gown. Okay, so the waist is 46. So we are going to gather up to 46 on our mat. So the length of the gown, we remove 20 inches from the upper bodice and then mark the full length. The full length is 58. Okay, so remember the gown length is 27, with the pattern is 27. Yes, but I removed 20 inches. Okay, for it to flow, I want it to be flowing at the ground of the when after sewing, when I wear it, it will just be drawing at the ground. So now the length, remember the round measurement is 46. I have 47 gathered here, so I've already gathered it. The full material, if you want a full gathered gown, you will have to buy up to 3 years. I have 2 years here. So now I'm going to just attach it like this, right side facing right side. I'll pin it up and all around. So after pinning it up with my pin, I will use 1/2 inch to sew on it like so, with following the lines like this, and I'll come back and show you what it should look like. And this is what it looks like after joining the gathered part. So the next thing we're going to do is to add close up the gathered part up to the zipper allowance with the 1 inch zipper allowance that we already made. So I'm trying to show you guys the shape of the asymmetric. Okay, I didn't even tell you guys about the sleeve. So for the hemming of the sleeve, just fold it with 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Just fold it in and sew for the sleeve of this gown. Okay, for the sleeve, that's where my hand is touching now. Just fold it in with 1/2 inch all the way to the armhole. So for the back of the gown, I'm going to mark the zipper where the zip is going to stop, and then from that zip you sew 1 inch all the way, with 1 inch all the way to the down part of the gown. Okay, and hem your gown too. I'm going to hem my gown like this with 1/2 inch all around, and then use 1 inch to join it all the way to 24 inch to where my zip is going to stop. So this is what we have after joining the zipper. I've not weaved it here, okay, but I'm still going to weave it. So this is what it came out. So beautiful, it came out so neat. Okay, I love the color combination. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye.